Out Students Association. We are starting today's vetting, and just in line, we have the International Students Association represented, like someone representing the International Students Association, a contestant actually, come in. So this is to prepare us and to get us ready for the vetting for the day. So, members of the panel, if you are ready. I hope everything is intact. So, shall we proceed? Shall we proceed? All right. I hope you have an introduction of us already. So, do you have an introduction of us, like our names? So, the panel, members of the panel, we've got our names from our introduction. We introduced ourselves to you, and I hope it's enough. Or do we need to repeat it? You're okay with it? All right. So, I would like to start from my right, Mr. Damois.
Okay, please. Could you introduce yourself to the panel?
Good afternoon, Parliament members. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Lamin Kenjo Cham. I'm a PhD third-year student, mathematical statistics. Is that okay?
There are other people listening to you, so if you could speak audibly so that...
Okay, let me start again. My name is Lamin Kenjo Cham, a third-year PhD student, College of Science. My field is mathematical statistics.
Okay. Mr. Could you, what is the role of an international students coordinator, and what are your main responsibilities? Just brief us.
Okay, as far as my knowledge is concerned, as the name suggests, International Students Coordinator is to coordinate the affairs of the international students within the university. More precise.
That's right.
My question is, how do you address the unique challenges and concerns that international students may face during their studies?
Okay, the challenges that international students may face during their studies, they are just numerous and counted. The first place, coming to a country that you don't belong to. The first challenge is how do you get to your destination? It's a problem that we face in this country. And in trying to address that, we want to make sure that the freshers, the new students, will be welcomed from the airport in Accra by providing student buses to collect them from Accra to their destination. One big challenge that international students also face is the issue of sometimes feeding accommodation. So this we will work with the main Grasag, to make sure that we explore the avenues that are available, to take care of some of these problems. Like, for example, some students have scholarships that are lucrative. So they have the issue of when they eat today, they don't eat tomorrow. How do we take care of that? Some students have this issue of their stipends being cut before the end of their programs. How do we address those issues? Will be our concern.
All right, thank you. Okay. My follow-up question will be, we all have different cultural values. And so I would like to find out from you, how would you facilitate cultural integration and promote interactions between international and domestic students?
Okay, that is why we want to come up with the AU Day, the African Union Day. We want to make sure that this is celebrated annually. This will bring students together, from different backgrounds to showcase different cultures from different countries.
Please, can you tell us when the date exactly that we celebrate AU Day?
25th of May.
25th?
25th of May. Every year, 25th of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get your answer.
25th of May.
That was a subsequent question. So the main question was, how do you facilitate cultural integration and promote interactions between international and domestic students?
Yeah,
because we can't wait till on AU Day before we do. So how would you do that?
Yeah, before the AU Day, the first interaction that we will want to bring among international students is organizing trips. That is the tour of the town where they live in, that is Kumasi. We'll make sure that students go on trip. You can't go to a place and you don't know your environment. So the first activity will be, we organize trip for international students to go around Kumasi and come up at the end of the day to have games like indoor games and maybe outdoor games like football, particularly, where students will come together and interact and know each other.
Can you please tell us maybe 2 cultural destinations that you would like to take them to in Kumasi?
Maybe one of the places might be the King's Palace.
Which is?
The King's Palace.
Which is?
I don't actually know the name, but I know...
the Menchia Palace.
Exactly.
Okay.
And probably we learned that there is a military museum where students can go and visit, and also there is an island. I forgot the name of the island. So we hope that this will be interesting places for international students to visit in Ghana.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Lamy, please, you can have your seat.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My first question is, why should a student vote for you?
Okay. Thank you so much. I like that question. I have been a student leader since I've been in school. As you can see, I have gone through so many schools. When I was going to high school, I was a class prefect. When I came to the college, I was a social secretary. And again, if you go back to Gambia, the whole Gambia, I am the deputy chief scout, if I may mention that. That is number 2 of all the scouts that are in the Gambia. So I feel like I have a lot of experience when it comes to managing people. And again, back home, I work in a whole ministry where I am responsible of a lot of things. So I think I have the experience to serve the international students.
Okay. From in your CV, you said you have served as the senior higher education officer.
Yes,
For
that's right.
Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology.
Yes.
For 9 years.
Yes.
What have you done that is innovative enough for the ministry that your country is benefiting from?
Okay. First and foremost, as we may all be aware, the main mandate of any ministry is policy formulation. So I have been taking part in so many policies that have been developed by that ministry. And again, if you go through my CV, up to the time I came to this university here, I was the head of the TVET unit, that is technical and vocational unit of that ministry, where we've done a lot of things trying to coordinate technical and vocational education in that country.
Yeah, you didn't give me a specific answer. I need a specific instance where you had an innovative thought that has helped your ministry.
Okay, let me say contribution to policy formulation.
So what exactly in the policy form, what policy have you formulated?
The
for
higher
your ministry?
education policy,
Pardon?
the higher education policy, I have taken part in the formulation of the higher education policy and strategic development of that policy.
I have exhausted my question.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Cham. My name is Edmond. Yeah, and what measures are in place to address any language barriers or provide language support for international students?
Thank you so much for that question. We want to, in our programs, we want to come up with key language classes, for the international students. This, we want it to be an annual activity. This will be an avenue where international students will learn the key language, and it will help them integrate into the society, to help, break the language barrier between the international students and the nationals, the indigents of the country.
Okay. A follow-up question. So, how do you assist international students in maintaining connections with their home country and culture?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
How do you assist international students in maintaining connections with their home country and culture?
How do I assess international students in maintaining their culture?
Yes,
with their
home
country.
culture. Yes.
Anyway, my assessment for the international students, I think is very high, because we've seen some cultural displays, by some international students in the previous years. So I would rate that one very high. I don't know if I've answered your question.
I didn't get that. Can you come again?
I should continue. Okay.
I mean, can you repeat yourself? Come again.
Can I?
Come again with the answer.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, I was saying, I assess that one very high. My rating is very high as far as that is concerned, because I've seen some cultural displays in the previous years by international students. So that shows that international students are really into their cultures. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Here's Ghana. and we have our culture, right?
Yes, yes.
So how are you going to let these international students keep to their home country culture? How are you going to do it? I mean, the process, how are you going to do it?
Yeah, that is by organizing maybe cultural activities so that people will remember their cultures and keep to their cultures.
So we have to expect organizations, I mean, various organizations per country. That's when you become what you are aspiring for, right? All right, so can you give me two of your policies? Just two of your policies. What you are going to do when voted for?
Okay, when I'm voted in.
Yes.
Yeah, I want a better Grasag.
How?
And
better?
I also want transparency.
How better and how transparent?
Yeah, we want to have a better collaboration, the international students, between the international students and Grasag KNST. And we also want a collaboration between Grasag international students and the student, that is the ISA, the International Student Association. Better collaboration and inclusiveness. You understand? So that way I feel we will have a better Grasag where everybody is part of. Sorry? Yeah, the transparency here, we want to see accountability. We want to see privity. We want to see a situation where documentation is the order of the day.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Chan. Mr. Cham. Yes. Welcome once again. You seem to have gathered lots of experience for yourself with respect to student leadership, like you said, to the extent that you've even been a class prefect before to this stage. Yes. That's very nice and impressive. Anyway, which provision under the Grasag Constitution establishes the ISC?
That is Article 5. Article 5 of the Grasag Constitution. Article 5
of the Grasag Constitution.
The Grasag KNST Constitution states that Grasag KNST shall comprise of the executive body, the college representatives, IDL representative, then you have the international student coordinator, and you have the class representatives.
So that's the provision that establishes the ISA.
Exactly.
To the best of your knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you want to change your answer?
No. That's what I have seen, and that's where, yes.
Okay. So how did you get to know about KNUST?
How do I get to know about
And what triggered your desire to come and study here?
Okay. My ministry has a collaboration with this university.
What?
The Ministry of Higher Education, where I work for, by extension, the government of the Gambia, has a collaboration with KNST to mentor a science and technology university that is coming up at the country. So by that, some part of that program, some people are being identified to come and study in KNST. After, with completion, they will go and work in that science and technology university.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the ministry or the government is collaborating with KNST.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have lecturers that even go to the Gambia, to lecture as a mentorship to the university.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if I'm to ask you any further question about the university, I'm sure you'll be on top of your game.
If you are to answer me,
Yes,
sorry,
ask you any question on the university, about the establishment of the university, KNUST.
Oh, okay, fine.
So when was this school birthed?
When was this school built? That is something I may not recall fully, but I know the school is over 70 years old.
The school is?
Over 70 years old.
Okay.
I may not be able to say exactly which year, but I know it's over 70 years old.
Okay. Okay. So what triggered your study in mathematics?
Oh, I've been a mathematics teacher, a mathematician all over my life.
Oh,
I started as a teacher. I was a mathematics teacher in the junior school, in the senior school, then BSc, I studied mathematics. My master's level, I studied applied mathematics, and here I am doing mathematical statistics.
Oh, okay.
So all my life has been mathematics.
Okay. So since you're a mathematician, I think you can make life quite easier for me with this question. 5 kilos of gold.
5
kilogram of gold.
Kilogram.
5 kilogram of gold.
Okay.
And 5 kilogram of cotton. Which one will be weightier? Which one will be heavier?
5. Your accent is disturbing me a bit.
I'm saying that I have 5 kilograms of gold.
Gold.
Mineral, the mineral gold.
Oh, gold. Okay.
Like diamond gold.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have 5 kilogram of cotton. Which one will be weightier? Which one will be heavier?
Oh. I think the answer is obvious.
Is it?
The answer is obvious.
So let me know the obvious. I want to know the obvious.
Gold and cotton.
Yeah. 5 kilogram each of gold.
5 kilogram of gold. For me, it's gold.
It's gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, unless maybe there's a question.
Mr. Lamine, can you please tell me the name of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana?
Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana.
Yes, please.
I have no idea.
All right.
So, thank you for your time with us.
Okay.
You have one more question?
Okay. On your CV, I saw you, meddling with some electoral activities. Some elections.
Okay, election.
What motivated you into such activities? Thank you.
I'm not getting you.
On your CV,
Yes.
I saw you presiding over some elections.
Okay.
So what was your motivation? Thank you.
What was my motivation? All right. I completed high school in 1994. And that very same year was the year when the Gambia experienced, a new regime through the barrel of the gun, that is a military coup d'etat. So in 1995, there was in the Independent Electoral Commission, that was set up, and the people were contracted to have a general registration of all the people in the country, which I was lucky to be part of. So since then, I was taken on contract and recognized by that institution, and year in, year out, once they have activities, I am contacted, to take part.
Thank you for your time. I think it's been a pleasant time with us, right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Sure. Right. Your name. You can use the microphone. And please have a seat. Feel free. Who is he? Wait. Are you the one being vetted? You are the one being vetted. So what's his business here? Or you want to sit and answer some of the questions?
Hello.
You said your name was? Your name?
Hello. Hello.
Welcome, Mandela. It's what? Mandia. Mandia. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Can we? Okay. Okay. So you are welcome once again.
Thank you.
And as usual, we introduced ourselves to you. Do you want us to introduce ourselves again? Okay. My name is David. I'm chairing this vetting panel.
Yes, Mr. Mahama, our former president, right? My name, I am Paul Damoa. I represent College of Science.
Miss Enin Grace, representing Ideal.
My name is Sidov Pepra, representing College of Art and Beauty. I want to start. How are you doing, ma'am? You are very good. Okay, so why are you going for the organizing secretary, not any other position?
Okay, there's a reason why I applied for the. Okay, there's a reason why I applied for the portfolio of organizer and not the rest of the portfolios, because as a student and growing up, I've always been passionate about organizing events and programs, and I take pleasure in it, and I'm very passionate about it. It's something I'm very good at, so I didn't think twice in picking the portfolio of organizer. And I also intend to serve the people of Grasag. So it's best I serve through what I know how to do best. Thank you.
Have you held any position that required you to organize activities?
Okay, I've held the position of sports chairman in this school during my undergraduate tenure as the sports chairman of Dagumba Students Association. And I was the first sports chairman of that association. So I was tasked with making sports activities relevant to students of the association, which I did. So
If a program comes, let's say Grasag is organizing a sports activity at the sports complex, please take me through the processes you are going to undertake to make sure the activity is a success.
okay, for organizing sports events, first you have to know the number of participating teams. So for Grasag King University, let's say if you are going to make it on college basis, so each college would have their team, and then you would have to know the number of teams that will be present. You have to now calculate the number of matches. So if you want to make it a league form or a tournament form, the number of matches will be different. So after you know the number of matches that you are going to organize, you can now know the number of days you will spend organizing the event. And from that, you would know how much it would cost you to secure the venue. So let's say if you are using the Brunei Sports Complex or you are using the Parjo Stadium, you would have to speak with the facility managers of such venues, and then you would know how much it will cost you to organize the event. So from there, you move to the treasurer and then give him a budget based on the number of days or the time you spend at the park. And as you have to also consider refreshments, because it's a sporting activity, people would sweat, people would get tired, so they'll have to refresh themselves. And also, let's say the spectators or the other members that are coming to cheer the people who are going to participate in the sport, you have to also cater for their refreshment. And you have to factor all these in securing organizing the event. Another thing you have to think about is the jerseys. So maybe each college can have their own jerseys. And if the colleges already have their jerseys, then you allow them to use it. If they don't, you find ways of securing it for them.
Okay. At what point do you consult your executives? Because I didn't hear you talk about consulting your executives. You were speaking like you are the person in charge, but there's a president, there's a vice president. You need to consult them. So at what point do you consult them, and what do you do if they don't agree to your ideas?
Okay, so before you organize an event of this manner, it would have to be discussed in the executive council. So at that meeting, you would be you would discuss how everything is going to happen. So the whole executive council would now charge you as the organizer to organize the meeting, organize the event based on the information they've given you, whether they want it in a tournament form or a league form. You, the organizer, will now have to liaise with your organizing committee members and organize the event. So you can also seek advice or feedback from the members of the association on how they would want the event to be organized. And you have to factor all these from the council, your committee, and the Grasag members in organizing the event. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Mahama.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I like your name, though.
Thank you. I can give you the name.
You can't give me your name,
Oh, I can give
really?
you the name. Yes.
Okay. So, are you a team player?
Am I?
Are you a team player?
Yes, I'm a team player. For the sports I'm talking about, to be a footballer, I have to be a team player.
Okay.
Yes.
Because as an organizer, if you have voted into office, you would not work alone, obviously.
Okay.
You would have to collaborate with other people in organizing events. That's why I'm asking you
All right.
if you are a team player.
Okay.
Okay, so can you describe your leadership style and how it would positively impact the organizing team and the overall success of Grasag King USD events?
Okay, thank you. That's a very wonderful question. And as my leadership style deals with listen before you do. So basically, what I try to do is that I listen to the concerns of my committee members and the Grasag members before I do what I want to do. So if you are a leader and you just act based on what you feel is right, you basically not be serving your people. Before you can serve your people well, you have to listen to them and know what their problems are before you can act based on those problems.
Okay, so can you take me through or take us through some of the events, successful events that you've organized previously?
Okay, so under my tenure as sports chairman, I was able to organize a football match between our association and the Wala Students Association.
Can you be more specific with the year?
Yeah, okay, in 2021.
2021, okay.
Yes, 2021. We organized it at Maju, and it was a very successful one. We were able to make a lot of publicity. We had a lot of, in sports, we can term it trash talk. So trash talk from each association, making it more vibrant. And then members were very keen on what is going to happen because it was wild. Excuse me to say, it was wild. And then very tensed up. So on that day, it was very populated. And then it was a very massive event. We were able to do everything smoothly, and then everybody was happy. So.
Can you please tell us the role of social media in having a successful event?
Okay. For social media, before you organize an event, you can use social media to catch the attention of your audience. So by publicizing flyers and banners of the event strategically, what I mean is that instead of the normal way of, let's say we have an event and just write it there. We have an event at, let's say, Paju, 8 p.m., and then you put everything there and put it raw like that for them. It won't be catchy enough. But if you put jargons and word plays like Wahala for this or something that will catch the members, you see that they will be more interested in reading it. Because it will just be like a document there. They will see it, oh, this thing, and they'll pass. But if you make it catchy and appear very attractive to them, they would want to see or know what is in the document. Then they read it and they will be able to participate. You can also use social media to send out surveys to members so that they can contribute on, they can bring in ideas on how they would want the event to be organized so that you can factor it in your organization process. And also, after organizing the event, you can sort feedback from the members on what they think was right in the event and what they think was wrong, so that in subsequent events, you factor them. Thank you.
All right, so can you explain to us how you are going to mobilize funds? For instance, maybe you are to organize a program and then your budget is maybe 50,000, okay, but you have available 20,000. So how would you get sponsors to come on board so that they can support your cause?
Okay. First of all, you would have to liaise with the university public relations office, and you would ask them about ways or industries that you can meet who would be ready to support your project. So with the advice and counsel from the public relations office at the university, you'll be able to send letters to industries calling for support. And you can also use social media or the mass media outlets to sort for sponsorship for such programs.
What's your take on partnership? Partnership.
Partnership?
Yes.
In what sense?
You know, like partnering with other institutions.
Okay, so
organizing events.
Okay, so Grasag University is an arm of Grasag National University. So other universities have graduate students and they have associations. So you can liaise with them. You can meet them, speak with them, and then maybe they have other events and other trends that are new, and you can inculcate it with your style and then make it better.
All right, thank you. Okay. Business.
Hello, Mr. Mahama. I have two simple questions for you. My first question is, per my observation, I see you as a very calm guy, and I will not say sluggish, but an organizing activity or an organizer has always got a very tedious role because you have to be moving up and down. So how do you convince this panel and those of us here that indeed you'd be able to execute Grasag organizing activities very effectively? And then secondly, I'm asking my questions together. A follow-up question is, what special policies do you have in place to execute, to make Grasag KNUST different and special or unique to its members?
Thank you, Honorable Member. And you said your questions were simple, but Charlie, they're not simple. So let's go to the first question. You are saying I seem like a calm person, and the job is tedious. So you want me to convince you that I can carry out the tedious duties of an organizer. First of all, I don't know how familiar you guys are with football, but I'll use football. On the pitch, they call me Kante. And if you know what Kante does, you know I'm not a calm person. I'm energetic, I'm everywhere. If you see me on campus, I'm always walking around asking Grasag members what's happening, what's wrong. So in natural resources, for instance, when you go there, they have furnished classrooms, but they don't have chairs. So they have to move to other classrooms to pick chairs. When you go to engineering, we basically do not have classrooms. When we have a class, you have to go helter-skelter to look for a classroom. When you go to College of Science, they have classrooms, they have chairs, but their problems are also different. When you go to KSB, their problems deal with transportations on weekends. Weekends, they have to walk all the way from campus down to where they are for their class sessions. So what special initiatives do I have? From these problems I have gathered, I can tell you that I would want to work with the various executives to provide weekend shuttle systems for Grasag members so that that old woman who is in KSB would not have to struggle to walk from campus down to her college to have classes. I also thought about the implementation of a social media platform. Yes, we have a platform. We have Telegram that we post, executives post various materials that are relevant to Grasag students. But a lot of people are on the platform, and a lot of people are allowed to chat on the platform. So before you see something relevant, a lot of posts have covered it, and you might not even see it. So we need to have a platform as Grasag, maybe an app or something that we can disseminate information on. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mahama. My name is Edmond Entrisha-Betson.
Okay.
Yes, I'm from the College of Engineering. Yes. Yeah, mechanical, to be specific. I have some few questions. What's the trending news right now as we speak?
What's the trending news?
Yes.
Okay, right now we have the Yvonne Nelson Sarkodie saga. Okay. I think that's what's trending. And then in the world of football, Saudi taking basically all the big names in football. So these are the trending news.
Okay. And the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, the Ukraine-Russia war. It has been there
what
for
has happened?
Has been there for a while. And I think recently there was an attempted coup in Russia. Yeah, I think that's
by the Wagner.
Yes.
Which was being which the. Okay, I think we'll come to that. Thank you. So, what strategies, right, will you employ to attract and engage a diverse range of participants, okay, for Grasag KNUST events or activities? Is my question clear?
Yes, it's clear. So, in attracting diverse student bodies to events, you would have to work with your organizing committee. The makers of our constitution had it in their knowledge that there are diverse Grasag members. So that's why in the organizing committee, we have one member from each college and some reps from the distance students. So I would have to collaborate with each one of them in addressing the events to capture everybody holistically. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So it's just about collaboration with the organizing committee, and you can.
I remember one time I tried organizing one, and I just got some few people in attendance, students of over. So that made me too.
So your publicity too should be on spot. It shouldn't be the normal flyer, which is white, and then you write a lot of things there. No, it has to be colorful, catchy, and you have to put terms and jargons that will attract people to read and come to the event.
Okay, thank you so much. A follow-up question, I think my last question. In case of an event, students are from different backgrounds, and there is maybe a riot or misunderstanding, how are you going to handle them with your portfolio? Thank you.
Okay. In case of a riot, okay. Yeah, so in case of a conflict, you have to understand the cause of the conflict before you can solve the conflict. You have to employ conflict management mechanisms in dealing with the conflict. And if you are not able to manage the conflict, you have to seek help from the university security or other stakeholders around in the university to help you solve it. And if you are not able to still solve it, you can organize a meeting, call the parties involved in the conflict, and work with the counseling unit to.
I think the first thing is to try to prevent that, right? So before you organize, try and put all these things in place, right? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have one last question. From your certificate, it states that you had second class and a lower division. Yes. So if we give you the opportunity to run as the Grasag organizing secretary and eventually you win, are you very sure it will not affect your studies?
Yes, I'm very sure it will not affect my studies because there was a reason why in undergrad I had what I had. And it was also a lesson to me. And then I've put measures in place to make sure I'm a better person. So I don't think this office would affect my studies because I've already dealt with something like that and I know how to get out of it.
All right, Mr. Mahama, thank you. I hope you are not under pressure. And since you wanted to extend your name to the lady beside me, I am told that your organization skill is on point. Okay. By the way, do you remember her name?
Yes, Mrs. Enin.
Mrs. Enin. So it will be Mrs. Enin Mahama. Well done. In your own assessment, you spent virtually almost a year with us in the university, right?
Yes.
Do you think the ideal students are really getting value for money in terms of their dues that they pay to Grasag?
Fairly, I don't think they are getting enough. But I can't say they are not getting because the other executives have tried their best, but I still think there's more room for improvement. And there's still more to be done to include distant learners or distant students in Grasag activities.
So what are some of the lapses that you have observed?
Okay. For one, the publicity of events. So seminars and then workshops can be streamed online through social media platforms so that they can actively participate. And I've noticed that some of them have lectures physically. I think sometimes in the semester they are able to come to campus. So if you are able to track the time that they are able to come to campus and make sure that some events can take place around that time, I think they can participate.
Okay. So, in your own perspective, will I be right if I'm to go by the assertion that there is administrative failure, 70% lies on the organizer? Will I be right?
You will be right, because the organizer is supposed to organize events, and he's supposed to spearhead the execution of events and workshops on campus. So if anything is going wrong, 70% is his fault.
Okay. At least I was glad that you made mention of one thing. At least for the first time, I've sat on a panel and I know that the organizer is not only responsible for organizing item 13. And you told us specifically that you've made certain observations with chairs not being in classrooms at Kanasa and other areas. This is just a little advice. I'm sure Prof here would attest to it. The role of the organizer is not entirely to organize only Grasag-related programs. I'm glad that you brought this up. You will be seen as more efficient, and I'm sure Prof here will be proud of you if you are able to bring some of these pertinent issues and not only budget on item 13 and programs organized by Grasag. Management will be so happy if you can confront them that, oh, the chairs probably in Kanasa are not enough for the graduate students. These are some of the things that I think they expect from us, but they see very little from us. So I'm happy that you brought this thing up. So it doesn't really lies on the shoulder of the president. Once you are able to spot some of these problems, it's always prudent that you take it up, so that when you are also forwarding your budget on item 13 and other programs, they will see that there is a balance. You are able to balance the sensitive issues with non-sensitive issues. At least that I'm happy about it. So back to the vetting matters. Which constitutional provision establishes your office, and what are some of the duties of the organizer as stated under the Constitution?
Under the Constitution, there are stipulated councils of Grasag, 3 arms of Grasag: the Executive Council, the Judicial Council, and the Legal Council. So, as an organizer, I fall under Executive Council, and my duties are to organize programs for Grasag members, and also to act as the secretary in the absence of the general secretary. There are other duties spelled out in the Constitution, and if you would kindly allow me, I can spell them out by referencing
what constitutional provision establishes your office?
Mr. Chairman, I would have to reference the Constitution for that.
Okay. Then you have no business being here. You only came to rattle to us.
I don't believe I just came to rattle to you.
Oh, obviously, everybody here will attest to that. If you want to be president of Ghana and you don't know the part of the Constitution that establishes the office, then obviously you are in for nothing.
I don't think so. I don't want to misquote the Constitution because it is the...
Oh, we know it's a referral document. You can always go and refer to it. But at least, if you don't know, a good lawyer is the one who is able to point out where the law is, not what the law is. At least you know where the law is, the location of the law. Let's say article this, subsection this. If I know that you know that one, I know that you can always find the details from there. But you are bereft of this, and you want me here to believe that you can be a very good organizer. what stops us from probably not recommending you and opening up for other people coming into contest?
I only said I would have to refer because in spelling out the functions you asked me to mention, I'll have to candidly mention them from the Constitution. So as
I initially asked for the provision, the specific provision.
Okay. Under the Executive Council, in I think Article 59 provides provision for the organizer.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Article
organizer.
59.
Yes, please.
So if you check and it's not, what should be the remedy? Just giving you a long rope to hang yourself. Should we refer to it for you? What's at Article 59? Don't tell me your constitution is different from ours.
I mean, it's the same constitution.
All right. You are lucky that it's the exact provision that's there. You are right before this panel. I want you to make just one promise that we always hold on to. And we also hang it on your neck. Whenever we see you and there's any breach or failure on your part, as an organizer, just give us one promise.
I promise this council that after my tenure of office, my name will be remembered from time immemorial in this school, and people will remember me for the things I've done and not because I was just the Grasag organizer.
I said a promise. What you said is very general. You can tell us that you are promising that there will be massive item 13 at all programs. We want something specific, something that we can ascertain. Just give us one promise.
Okay. So I promise that before I leave this office, if I'm not even able to... Let me finish.
I haven't done anything. Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to help for the establishment of weekend shuttles for Grasag members.
Oh, that's already in operation. Do you know that's my baby?
That's your...
When I was Grasag vice president, that was my baby. That was my baby project.
Okay. But I have not seen...
You've not seen it, or probably it's not in the system anymore.
I've not seen it.
Okay.
I told the campus on weekends and there's no...
So there's a problem with sustainability. Because we were allocated about 7 buses. One was at Tech Junction, one at Agric Junction, one at in front of the KNUST Hospital. Then, yes. So we're having about 7 sites, and students were picked to within the school, especially during the weekends. So you are promising that you rebirth that. So if it's not done,
if I'm not able to do it, I would at least lay a foundation for the subsequent person to lay on that.
So how many months are you going to be in office, assuming you are voted? Do you know the time frame that you'll be in office?
Okay, so subject to changes in the constitution.
All things being equal.
All things being equal, about a year from now.
You'll be here
but
for
in
a
the
year.
In the academic calendar, it might be about 6 months. But for the normal calendar, a calendar year.
What I can tell you is that the moment you are voted, the clock ticks. If you really want to get this project resurrected or whatever, it doesn't take a month. It doesn't take 2. It doesn't take 3 months. It takes more than 3 months to get this policy implemented. So if you are promising us that you are going to birth this, then please, the clock ticks right after your day, the day that you are voted into office. Thank you for the time you spent with us. We are grateful. And in the absence of any further question, I think you have enjoyed your time here, I guess. And do you still want to extend your name?
After the whole process.
You still won't have a change of mind?
After the process, we'll discuss.
Thank you. likes you.
Mr. Mahama, can you please tell me the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture's name? Who is the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture?
Respectfully, I don't know.
Really?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You may take leave of us. Or you have a question for us? You won't ask her for her location.
That one day after.
Okay. You may leave. Thank you.
Yes, please.
So, Dominic, what's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear is not to face every challenge that I come across. It's not to face every challenge I come across.
Your greatest fear is not
Yes.
to face any
Yes.
challenge you come across.
Yes. So which means I'm supposed to face every challenge that will come across my way.
So that is your greatest fear.
Yes.
That should rather be an emboldening statement. That come what may, I'm here.
Definitely, Mr.
It
Chairman.
shouldn't be a fear.
That's why I said, if I have a challenge and I fail to approach it, it means that's my fear. So I have to approach every challenge that will come my way.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Anyway, what positions have you held in your student life?
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I'll talk about the recent one. I just resigned as Secretary of the Council of Class Reps of Grasag University. So that's my current position. Aside that, I've been a secretary when I was doing my master's at University of Education, whenever, Knust campus.
So why didn't you contest for presidency and by secretary?
Thank you. I think I've gained a lot of experience being a secretary to the Council of Class Reps, at the same time being a secretary to my department at University of Education, Knust campus. And I've acquired the requisite skills I need to become a secretary. So I've gained a lot of experience, and I hope I can use my experience to make the position of secretary at Grasag University a better one.
What constitutional provision establishes your office?
Thank you very much. Article 55 and 56. The 55 talks about the secretary, and the 56 talk about the powers and functions of the secretary.
So what's the difference between minutes of a meeting and minutes of an assessment?
Minutes of a meeting. Minutes of a meeting is the proceedings that occur during a meeting, when there is a meeting. Assessment is assessment of whatever. Minutes of an assessment is a minutes of a whole assessment of an event.
Okay. So if I'm to give you these two items and to ask you which one is weightier, 5 kg of cotton.
Come again.
5 kilogram of cotton.
Okay.
And 5 kilogram of gold. Which one is heavier?
5 kilogram of cotton and 5 kilogram of gold. Okay, unless I weigh them. 5 kilogram of cotton and 5 kilogram of gold. Yes, I would say they are all the same, because this 5 kilogram of cotton and this 5 kilogram of gold, so they are all the same. 5.
All right. Mr. Dominic, I want you to help me. I can understand that you are very much interested in Grasag issues.
Definitely.
From your signage, I can read that. What are some of the loopholes you have observed in Grasag secretaryship, being a member of this association?
Okay, thank you very much.
No, and then how do you intend to put some policies in place to resolve this so that there will be general improvements?
Thank you very much. One thing that really motivated me to take this mantle is the fact that over the years, I've been able to get a lot of experience from Grasag. Like I told you earlier on, I am the secretary of the Council of Class Reps. I'm a member of the coordinating team of the research committee. I'm also a senator myself. When I came to, last semester, when I reported, I realized I need to know more about Grasag. I came to the Grasag Secretariat, and they introduced me to the Telegram platform. Straight away, I joined it. I joined the Class Rep platform. There I was voted as a Secretary of Council of Class Reps. During our first meeting, I realized that there are a lot of student class reps who are not part of the Council of Class Reps. I tried to find out. The reason has been that I call it miscommunication or lack of information flow. When you come to KNUSC as a postgraduate student, if you fail to come to Grasag Secretariat to register or find out about whatever is happening over here, you never know anything. So the ideal student, the weekend students outside, those on our main campus over here, they are not aware of any Grasag issues. So I took it upon myself to make sure that we bring on board all Grasag members across the country. By so I decided to contest this position. This is what I'm planning to do. My vision is to foster effective and inclusive communication among all Grasag University students. How am I going to do it? I will make sure when I'm elected as a secretary, I'll create a centralized platform, because I realize that the platform that we have.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Lexis.
Yeah, yes, please.
I love your name.
Thank you very much. I also love your face.
Thank you. Can you tell us what a quorum is?
A quorum.
Yes, please.
A quorum is during a meeting, people are supposed to be present in order for us to start a meeting. For every sitting or a meeting. For instance, the council of class.
Wait, come again.
I said, for every sitting or a meeting, the members, the total number of members who are supposed to be present in order to start the meeting is what we call a quorum. They form the quorum before we can start an official meeting or a sitting.
So what's the quorum for General Assembly?
It's 50 per our constitution, 50.
Good. Have you held this position before?
No, please.
So how will you convince us that you would deliver if you are voted into office?
Thank you very much. Like I told you earlier on, I've held similar position as Secretary of Council of Class Reps. And from my experience, I've gained so far, and from my experience being a secretary to my department, I believe I'm able to achieve whatever I plan to achieve, making sure I enhance the communication channels among Grasag University students so that everybody will be involved. Every student, irrespective of the study site or location, will be heard, and every challenge, we try to resolve it so that we have an inclusive Grasag, not what we're having right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you said you have identified problems with the association,
Yes,
like
please.
the dissemination of information.
Information.
You called it miscommunication.
That's it.
I am also a class rep
Okay.
for Master of Architecture 1.
Okay.
And I am not part of the
Council of Class Rep platform.
What have you done as
Secretary.
a secretary
Okay.
to help me join
Okay.
the
So when you had a meeting, when I saw that, I wrote a letter to my chairperson. I developed a strategy. My strategy was to make sure we visit every class. But unfortunately, in an effort, I was told it's supposed to be done together with the communication of the PRO, which I was not. So in subsequent events, I wrote another letter. And what I've been doing of late is mostly I try to be in touch with almost every department. Quite recently, I was at the English department. That was last year. I was on board. Even School of Nursing, they were not part. I went to Boadi, talked to their class rep, took their number, and they are now part of it.
Yeah, you were able to go to Boadi. Why didn't you come to Department of Architecture?
I was at Akito.
Are you sure?
Yes, Akito. If you know Joseph and Kofi Danso. Kofi Danso is a continuous student. You can ask Kofi Danso. I was there.
Yeah, but you're not in the Master of Architecture, Master of Architecture 1 year class. Why?
I came there. Were you at the research clinic?
No.
You see, so that's why I was.
The research clinic.
Yes.
You were not the one who came to invite us.
I'm talking about the main event, not the invitation.
You said you visit classes, but
Yeah.
you didn't visit our class. That is my point.
I said I came there. And Kofi Danso, if you know Kofi Danso very well, he can attest to that for the house at.
Fidanso is Master of Architecture 2.
Two,
I am
yes.
in Master of Architecture 1.
Yes.
You are saying that you visit classes and you have come to our department, and I'm telling you that you did not come to Master of Architecture 1. So please admit you did not come to Master of Architecture 1.
I admit I came to Akito, but not, I came, the very day I came there, the first year student had done with lectures. But there was another opportunity that was during the research clinic. The research clinic, I was the coordinator over there. Unfortunately, most of the Akito students didn't attend for reasons best known to them. But that day, I got the opportunity to meet some of the first years. I hope you understand me now.
Which first years? Master of Architecture 1
yes,
first years.
1 year.
Okay, sure. From your certificate you presented here, it states that you had a second class and a slower division. Are you sure and very sure that if we allow you to contest for the position and you eventually win, it will not affect your studies?
No, please. This is my undergrad. Unfortunately, the CV does not contain my other programs. If I have my certificate where I had the distinction in my other school, so I think I'm better off than my undergrad time. Thank you very much.
Mr. Dominic,
Yes, please.
my name is Edmond, and I'm representing College of Engineering.
Okay.
Yes. I have like 2 questions.
Okay.
Yes. The first one has to go with current affairs. Can you tell me something about what's happening locally and globally?
Oh, locally, is there a scene of election? Globally, I'll talk about sports, because I'm a football fanatic. So yes. I'll talk about the current happening in sports. The fact that Lionel Messi moved to MLS.
And the Russia-Ukraine war.
Oh yeah, the Russia-Ukraine war, I think it's almost over.
Okay. My next question is, what are the interventional signs and how are they used? Thank you.
Interventional science.
Yes, during meetings. I mean, when you go for meetings as a secretary, you know.
Interventional science.
Yes. And how are they applied? How are they used?
Interventional science are mostly signs that we used to indicate, or we used to talk to during meetings. These are the signs we use to indicate.
What are they and how do we, we have, let me help you, we have about 4 of them. Okay. What are they? Can you list them and how are they applied? How do we use it? At what time do we raise this and that?
I don't know if these signs, for instance, a sign like this.
That's the,
Yes. Okay.
What's the name of it?
And I'm getting your point very well. Okay, when it comes to the Senate House, you have point of correction, point of order. That's why.
Can you demonstrate them? Or that one is. Can you demonstrate it?
Yes.
Which
So
one is point of order?
Yeah, the point of order, point of correction.
Use your hands to demonstrate.
This one, and mostly you can use this two. If you have a point to make at a sitting or during a meeting, just raise your hand. Okay. Then we call you. Then if as you speak and you are not in order, just do like this. If the interventional signs.
I think every organization and the language they speak, right? So with Grasag KNUST, when we go for like your general meetings, there's a sign the president understands. So not until you do that sign, the president or the secretary or the one chairing might not understand it, right? So from here, you have to go and revise. But
okay, thank you very much.
during a meeting and someone does this, you have to understand what the person means.
That is the point of.
You see that thing.
That's the point of order.
So, Chairman, I'm done.
Okay. In terms of record, do you know that you are the gatekeeper?
Come again, please.
In terms of records, you are the gatekeeper.
Yes, please.
Why?
Because I maintain all the records of Grasag. I keep all the records of Grasag University.
And so your failure
to do it means Grasag University is going.
Is
failure to do that, it means definitely we are not going to hear anything about Grasag.
Okay. All right. So what special policy are you bringing in for continuity?
Good communication skills, administrative skills. I believe I'm a very good communicator. I'm able to speak.
I said, what policies are you rolling in for continuity?
Okay, like I said earlier on, the first one is I'm going to establish a centralized platform where all Grasag University students will be on board, irrespective of your study size.
That is already existing.
No, please.
So you want to tell me that there's no Grasag Year group page, both on Telegram and that on WhatsApp?
Yes, I'm talking. That one is the Telegram page. I'm talking about the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is only for, if you take the Council of Class Reps, those on it are only members on KNUST campus. Those outside KNUST campus, they are not part.
Then it means you need a policy direction because the Council of Reps is also my baby.
Yeah, what?
I set up the Council of
Yes,
Reps.
okay, so that's why I said it's one of my policies is to make sure we bring on board all students across all Grasag KNUST students.
But hasn't that been the situation all this while?
No.
Every KNUST campus has a rep, especially with the classes.
Oh, yes,
Council
yes.
of Rep.
But I'm trying to say centralize one platform where we shall have all Grasag KNUST, the reps on it.
But which app do you think will support that? Because WhatsApp has a limited number.
Yes, I believe WhatsApp can do because the class reps, they are not as many as we think they can support.
And I'm saying that with the class reps, there's the Council of Rep, and WhatsApp can contain that one.
Yeah.
But when you talk about entire Grasag community, you are talking about 8,000 students,
No.
and I'm asking you, which app do you think can support that?
I'm saying the Telegram. You know what I'm trying my point is the Telegram platform.
Thank you.
know,
That's what I
okay,
wanted to know.
Okay.
You just
Thank you.
mentioned one specific thing, and we are done.
Thank you.
I think you've enjoyed your time here.
Yes, and I would like to. I heard that you are former vice president, and let's take it upon ourselves. The current challenge. Yesterday, I went to the Ideal to campaign, and in fact, it was. I don't want to describe it.
But this is after election, no campaign.
No.
You are done with us.
No, I'm just making a point because.
So, me being the former vice president, what
Yes,
does it go to?
because like you said, you established the council. I just want to add up to it. It's a very good initiative. But the point is we should try and make sure everyone is on board. Because yesterday, what I witnessed over there, not me alone, whenever you go there to campaign, say, you Grasag, when it's campaign, you come there. After.
That's why I asked for a special policy from you. So we could have been channeled to that.
To that.
Yes.
Thank
But
you
you told us that rather you are going to do what? You are going to
But,
all members on the platform.
yeah, one platform.
But putting all members on the platform doesn't address the challenge.
Another one is
Thank you very much.
regular
We've
visits.
had enough.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
we thank you for your presence.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed the process.
Definitely.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Will you also want to extend your name to her?
To extend what?
Your name?
My name.
Yeah.
As to, I don't understand.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we'll be taking very. Good afternoon, madam. How are you? Please, your name. Okay. Please, you may have a seat. My boss.
Hello, Vera. You're welcome. Good. I have just one simple question for you. As an aspirant of secretaryship in this association, I am sure that you have observed some limitations or loopholes as far as secretaryship is concerned. I would want you to brief us on this and then tell us some of the policies you would put in place to resolve this so that we'll see a successful Grasag on this campus.
Thank you so much for the question. Mr. Chairman, as he rightly said, I've observed some issues pertaining it, and one of my policies is to promote effective communication within our Grasag students, populations, and then our executives. So I will do this by evaluating our current situation as Grasag, to know our strengths, the weaknesses, and then the opportunities. And with that, to know our strengths, the weaknesses, and opportunities. And with that, I would be able to leverage on that to help increase the communication within our Grasag Association. Thank you.
Why you haven't done issues? You are tense. Oh,
Just relax.
hey. Then when you go to props office, what will you do? Coast match, you can't handle now. Welcome. Relax, okay? Relax and give us your best, okay? We are not here to intimidate or to take anything away from you. We are rather here to bring out the best in you. So you just feel free, relax, and take a deep breath. Breathe in. In. Are you okay now? Take it easy.
Yeah, sure. Hello, Vera.
Hello.
Can you please tell me about yourself?
So I'm Vera Wemuye Abajibo, as I said initially, and I'm a graduate from UDS. I hold a BSc in Food Processing and Technology, and then I'm currently pursuing Masters of Philosophy in Food Science and Technology. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to work as a research assistant at the CSIR SARI. And during those times, I had the opportunity to be involved in research documentations and also assist in field works, which gave me some skills in writing, communication, and then time management. And then I also had the opportunity to work as a volunteer for an NGO, which is called the HEPO Africa. And during that period, we were sent to some selected communities over the northern region to sensitize and educate them on the COVID-19, because it was during those times. Thank you.
What's your take on feminism? Where are you from?
I'm from the Upper East, Navrongo.
All right. So I know that part of Ghana, you uphold, how do I put it, like cultural values as women. So what's your take on feminism? Do you believe in feminism?
Yes, I do believe in feminism.
So what's your take on it? How do you understand feminism? Relax, okay. Relax. I want to take it easy on you. That's why I'm going out of the normal questions. Should I change it for you? Should I change it? Can you tell me some of the challenges up north? Yeah. Like pertaining to women or younger women.
So, what I have observed, it's usually those are the rural settings. It's normally very difficult for them to have educational, the educational, to attend school, have the education process. So mostly they go to the farm or maybe the trade of their parents and then leave the education aspect for mostly the ladies and then the guys, but mostly the ladies are more involved in those things because they would say, as a lady, you need to stay home and then take care of the home and then the family. Thank you.
All right, Vera. I really want to take it easy on you. Women empowerment. What are minutes?
Minutes are the records that are being taken during meetings or hearings. Thank you.
Vera, how you doing? How you doing?
Fine.
Yeah. Vera, I am in the Department of Architecture. Department of Architecture.
Okay.
So when you are voted into power as General Secretary, how do you intend to help my department? Because usually the Department of Architecture is isolated from all the other associations because they have this notion that we don't involve ourselves. So how do you intend to involve Department of Architecture with your position? Thank you.
Thank you. So I would develop initiatives and then programs that would involve your department so that you wouldn't be left out of the programs that are always being organized because maybe you are not always involved in those programs because you find no interest in what the program is giving out. So I would develop initiatives that would provide your needs during those programs. Thank you.
Yeah, Vera, please, how are you doing?
Please, I'm fine.
My name is Edmond Entry Shepherdson. My name, Edmond Entry Shepherdson. From the College of Engineering, but I'm coming from the Achumangwe North constituency. That's where I stay and live. Thank you. I have just two questions for you. What's currently happening in Ghana? I mean, the latest news.
Okay, so I know about the Asin North elections.
Okay.
And then also the Yvonne Nelson book.
Okay. And globally?
And globally, the Ukraine and Russia war.
Okay. Okay. My final question. During our time, I mean, I did my Master of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering here, and it was very difficult to access information. So when voted us, when I say to access information, it means that anything that goes on, you don't hear anything. You just be there and you won't hear anything, not even souvenirs. We don't get it. So what are you going to do to help us when you are voted into power as the secretary? Please don't do politics. Be frank with us, please.
Thank you. So I would use the communication channels for example, our social media platforms, and then also the messaging platforms to disseminate information. And I would make sure the information is clear and concise so people would be able to understand and know what the information is about. And also, I would enhance the information dissemination via our website. Yeah.
We engineers, it's very difficult for you to find us on these platforms. And even if you are there, we don't seem to know what is happening there. That's why I said if you can do something about it, like you treat us, you give us some special treatment in order to know what is happening. I get to my point. All right, thank you.
Okay, Vera,
Yes.
thank you for your time with us. If there are no questions, I think we would ask you to leave us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Or you don't want to go? You want to go? You are tensed. In your own assessment, did you do well? Have you taken minutes before? You've taken minutes before. Where? Tamale. So do you know when we say we formed a quorum for a meeting? When do you say that you formed a quorum?
So the quorum is about the number of people who are supposed to be involved in the meeting you are to attend.
You seem to talk better when you are up. Thank you. And okay, but before you go, which provision establishes your office? In the Grasag Constitution establishes your office. Article 55. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
I'm not ready.
Alfredino Pukwameyaw.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Alfredino Pukwameyaw, a first-year MBA student specializing in strategic management and consulting. My motivation for leadership is to create an environment where all individuals are able to express themselves and also feel inclusive in all that they do.
All right, thank you. What's your take on LGBTQ plus?
Okay, so with LGBTQ, I don't support it because I believe that whilst an individual was born, you came in with a gender, and there's no need for you to change your gender. But in as much as I don't support it, and if the other party feels that he has gone to a level where she wants to change her gender or his gender, I feel it is up to an individual to make that decision. But personally, I don't support it.
Okay. Okay, so what's your take on the fact that if a female and a male like holds the same position, the male is being paid higher than the female? So, like, what's your take? Do you think that it should be equal pay, or you still think that the men should be paid more than we, the women?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I believe that since we are all putting in the same effort and also we are leveled educationally, there's no need for a man to take a higher salary than a woman, especially when they are working at the same office or they are working on the same committee. Yes.
Is 3 months maternity leave enough for women?
Personally, I would say no. It's because women go through a whole lot of changes, both psychological changes and physical changes during a pregnancy, and just 3 months staying at home with a little baby, how is she going to, or where is she going to leave the child, and how is she even going to get herself fully prepared for work in the next 3 months? Because we all know that some women get bedridden throughout pregnancy. So let's just imagine someone going through 9 months of pregnancy and is bedridden, and you expect the person to return to work in 3 months after delivery. I feel it has to be extended.
My last question. What do you think about the fact that recently, women in marriages, wives, are being killed by their husbands through various meanings? So do you think that a woman should leave an abusive marriage, like if it happened once, and a man hates you, must you leave, or you should stay and then work things out? Mind you, in our society, divorced women are mostly stigmatized, So how do we strike the balance before the men, finishes all the women?
Thank you, Vice Chair. I believe that once a man is able to hit you or be abusive towards you, it is never love. Run, flee, in fact, flee. Flee, because a man who has been able to hit you once will kill you the next time. And I believe that mental health education has to be on a daily basis, because men sometimes also go through a whole lot psychologically. And in our society, we tend to say, so the men keep harboring everything that goes on, but women, she has to talk, she will talk. But then we also know that when a man is infuriated to a point, sometimes they don't, not sometimes, they always want to know where to direct their anger, and they tend to direct it on a woman. So if, as a woman, if you are being abused in a marriage, leave. This is my take on it.
Okay. So,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
do you know the concept of feminism?
Yes, please.
What is feminism?
Okay, so I would say that feminism is advocating for the rights of women.
Do you know any specific rights that men have that women do not enjoy?
Basically, every right that a man enjoys, a woman does, but it's to the extent, because rape, a man does not, there is no right for a man to rape, but then with the woman, when the woman is being raped, it's a whole issue altogether. So I believe that on such cases, the woman's right is being upheld than the man. Though there is rape among men, but then it is few. But then, yeah.
Are you a feminist?
I would say I'm a gender advocate, not a feminist.
So, as a gender commissioner, are you sure you will be fair to both genders?
Yes, please.
The way you are talking, you will not be fair. You are speaking more for the women than for the men.
Okay.
But you are a gender commissioner, both genders.
Yes, thank you. I am a gender advocate. I don't stand for what the woman is doing is always right. No, we have to also understand that a man's intake also, the things that goes through a man's life is also needs to also be addressed, because mental health, as I said, is very paramount, and it cuts across both females and males.
Okay, so moving on to current affairs. Have you heard of the Yvonne Nelson and
Yes,
Saga?
please.
So between Yvonne Nelson and Sarkodie, who do you support?
They both did well. The platform was given to both of them. They both aired their oaths. They brought up everything that has gone between them. But I feel Sarkodie was too harsh, to the extent of calling Yvonne Nelson a whore. With that, I have a problem, and it was too far. But on the general basis, they were both given the platform, and they did what they were supposed to do.
You are being diplomatic with your answers. Between the two, which one do you support?
Thank you once again. I support both of them.
You are not a decisive person.
I am.
You have to choose between apple and an orange. And you are telling me that you eat both. Is that how you are going to treat the male and female agenda?
Thank you, the Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, actually.
Sorry.
I'm in the post.
Mr. Chairman, I would say I would treat them both. I'll treat males and females both at the same level, because, basically, I'll treat them both at the same level.
All right. Thank you for your answers, Alfredina.
Yes, please.
My name is Edmond Entry Shepherdson. Yes, I'm representing the College of Engineering. And coming from Achimangwa North constituency. Yes. I have two questions. So just be fair with me and discuss with us so that you know the way forward.
Okay, please.
So how does the gender commissioner, please, yes, engage with educational institutions to incorporate gender sensitivity curricula and promote gender equality among students?
Please, can I get a question again?
I come again. How does a gender commissioner engage with educational institutions to incorporate gender-sensitive curricula and promote gender equality among students?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, for using your office.
Please, you said something at the latter part.
I'm using your office.
Oh, okay.
How do you do that?
Okay, so
Do you understand?
I would first write.
Cite examples, please.
Okay, so currently in the social studies books of I would say JHS students right now, in the book, a man is supposed to carry things. No, a man is supposed to walk freely, whilst a woman carries a baby at the back, then carries a basket full of fruits on the head, and at the same time holds another thing in the hand. Okay, so with that instance, the curricula is saying that when it comes to activities of the home, it's only a woman's responsibility. But I believe that these are basic responsibilities that both genders have to partake in. So I would firstly write to the Ministry of Education, and also after writing, make sure I have a dialogue with the curriculum sector of the Ghana Education Service. Yes, please. So I'll have a dialogue with them, with the sector that is in charge of curriculum, so that we could add.
You have 1 year, just a year. It's not even up to 1 year. And you are going to first write a letter to the Ministry of Education. Then they will now reply you before you take action on all these things.
Yes. Thank you. I don't only believe in just 1 year of service. No. The service is a continuous sector, because when I leave office, someone will definitely take
I'm talking about your
office.
office.
So for me, I would initiate the plan, or I would initiate the conversation. And also, even after school, I would also make sure that it is being heard, it is being followed. And also, with the next gender commissioner that is coming, I would also involve her in the dialogue of continuity for that.
I'm proposing to you that you can use your office to write to the nearby institutions like the GHS and the SHS. Write to them. You can go have a discussion with them, with your executives. And
Okay.
I think you can start from there before the...
Thank you, but I have tried that with a couple of friends.
Now you have an office.
Yes, but this is what I was told, that it can't just go through the institutions like that. Even if it goes through the institution, you still have to go through the right channel, which is meeting the curriculum sector of Ghana Education.
Alfredina, LGBTQ is a right. Polygamy is a crime. What's your take?
Thank you, the Vice Chair. with LGBTQ being a right and polygamy being a crime, I believe that the gender of an individual, the gender at birth of an individual still stays the same. But as the person grows to a level where she's being accepted, the laws makes him or her an adult, he is right to decide wherever he or she wants to go. But then the gender at birth still remains the same.
Then your knowledge about this LGBTQ class is a bit limited, I would say. Have you heard about the queer?
Yes, please.
You heard about the transgenders?
Yes.
The transgenders had a previous gender before that biological, I would say the physiological migration into whatever they want to turn into.
Yes, please.
So do you still think that LGBTQ is a right and polygamy is a crime?
The Washe, I would.
You want to plead the fifth?
I would.
You want to plead the fifth? Then obviously you are not fit for the office. Because you have to be straight and firm.
You need to have a stand.
Yeah.
Okay, so with LGBTQ being a right and polygamy being a crime.
Please
answer
the question.
She said
I
she
would
wants to
side
plead
with it. I would side with it.
That's
LGBTQ.
Specific.
granted that now LGBT is a right.
Yes.
Polygamy is a crime. Do you know that even in the developed countries, the advanced countries that have accepted LGBTQ, the cost on its finances, if I should go into details of the finances, as in the repercussions of their act, is far more expensive than maintaining a polygamous community?
Yes, please.
What are some of the extra costs that you know about?
Okay, so as an individual has transformed, the person is prone to diseases such as HIV, which the drugs that is given to people who are immune to, who have HIV is high. So the government will have to always invest.
Do you have any special policy for men?
Special policy for men?
In Grasag?
Yes, please.
For advocacy, What policy is that?
Okay, it's on the education and counseling on nutrition and healthy lifestyle. Yes, of men.
So what are the men going to do with this policy? With this policy, what are the men going to do with it?
Okay, so with this policy, there will be an in-person program, in-person organized program. An in-person organized program that will educate men on how to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
KNUST has a first female vice chancellor.
Yes.
Is she a role model?
Yes, please.
And do you know the cost of being the boss?
Yes, please.
So do you believe in the adage of we ride on the shoulders of men to get to where we are?
Ride on the shoulders of men?
Yes, that's what women say.
Thank you.
Especially the feminists. That's your number one quotation.
Thank you, Dawashe.
Okay.
I believe that women don't ride on the shoulders of men. Women bring themselves to be educated to the point where they can attain wherever step in life that they whatever they want to achieve in life. They educate themselves and bring themselves up to that task. So they don't just ride on the shoulders of men. They are being educated to the level, and they are being accepted by the knowledge they have and their capabilities of that office.
The primitive assertion that women were not going to school, it was men that go to school. The conviction of the society was from a woman right? A woman convenes society that the woman can do better, the woman can be a better version of the man. So the woman convincing the man in order to start schooling, in order for society to buy into the idea of educating the girl child, don't you think it's an act of riding on the shoulders of men to get the results that they have today?
Thank you, the Vice Chair. I believe that during the primitive times, early marriages were being encouraged.
It was a simple question. Do you think it's an endorsement of that statement that women ride on the shoulders of men to get what they want?
No.
So what do you think that is?
That is seeking for the person's consent. Because in the primitive society, it is believed that men are the providers of the home.
Mm-hmm.
They provide for the home, and whatever a man says in the home, which is the father says in the home, is final, or a big brother says in the home, is final. So even before that, you can talk to a woman in the primitive society. Even before you can talk to a woman, you have to talk through the husband, or you have to talk through the father. So with this, I'm sure the first female who started it spoke through the men for them to come to an understanding that it is okay for you to allow the women attend school or have a level of education. Yes, please.
Okay. So which provision in the Constitution establishes your office?
Article 61 of the Grasag Constitution and Article 62 states the power and functions of the Gender Commissioner.
Who is the current Grasag National Gender Commissioner?
Miss Abiba.
Abiba.
And please, can I refer from, I can, okay, so.
What's the name of the President of Ghana?
The President of Ghana. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Did you refer to anything?
No, please.
And are you sure you're a feminist? Are you?
I'm a gender advocate.
You're a gender advocate.
Yes,
that was
please.
a smart one. You're a gender advocate.
Yes, please.
But you didn't tell us the policy you have for men. No? Is polygamy a crime?
Yes, please. It is.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We've already spent so much time with you. I would want to reserve my question, but give a few comments here. First of all, my observation about feminists is you tend to be more biased towards women. Of course, because perhaps you see that women are those that are marginalized in some way. I think you need to, because there are instances that you see that men are also pushed somewhere, but nobody really cares about that. So please try to stay as balanced as you can. Yes, and I will also maybe give a bit of advice to the electoral commissioner, plus yourself who is so much interested in feminism or gender. I think the current development is GESI, which is Gender Equality and Social Inclusion, so that your fight or your advocacy would include, for example, the disabled and people that are, marginalized, not just women, but I will cut across all other areas. And of course, there are students here like that. I'm speaking as a lead writer of the new curriculum that is going to be introduced here. So please, let's do it in that way, and I think it will broaden our scope. Thank you.
Thank you. There's an expert advice from someone from NACA. Anyway, I hope you had a good time here.
Yes, please.
Who did you enjoy most?
I enjoyed everyone.
Yeah, you didn't enjoy the feminist when she was being easy on you.
I believe that she did her best.
For you.
And thank
All
you
right.
so
Thank you.
much. Thank you so much, Vice Chair.
Yeah. are smiling, do you do my bet? And okay. Please, you may have a seat. Do you need us to introduce ourselves again? Okay, my name is David.
Okay. Paul Damois.
Miss Grace Enin.
Seed of paper.
Edmond Entry Shepherdson.
All right, so you are ready for us. Yes, so can we pick that?
Yes, please.
Your name again?
You are here again.
Please, my name is Dr. Nana Ifwa Ichan-Akwache.
I love your blazer.
Thank you.
All right, so what's your take on this recent development, like as in men killing their wives and their partners, is becoming a menace that we need to curb. So what do you think about it, and how do you think we can curb it?
Okay.
And bear in mind, divorced women in our society or in our culture, divorced women are, sometimes stigmatized. So, like, taking that into consideration, do you think that women should leave abusive marriage before it results into killing or something extreme? What's your take on that?
All right, thank you very much for the question. So I'm addressing your question in two parts. You asked that what is my take on the recent killings by men of women. So my take on it is mainly due to mental stress. Like, we live in a society where men are asked to just shoulder everything. They don't have outlets where they can pour out their stress. Like in Africa, you have to be a man. Men don't cry, men don't complain. If you are a man and you complain, you're like a woman or you're weak. So it's from that aspect. So then all this stress is built in, and then a way for them to release this is by doing that. So any trigger, any little thing, then they resort to violence. And it's not the right thing, but it's because of the society we live in. When you say go seek for psychological help, everyone is thinking, oh, you're mad, that's why you're going for it. So there's that wrong perception. So people just don't want to go for psychological support, and then they stay in their houses and then take on everything. And then for the women, I don't believe they should stay in abusive marriages. If you are being abused, you have to leave. We always hear instances where women stay because they believe that, if they come out, everybody will say, oh, your marriage didn't stand, you are not a woman, like, you are not a woman of substance. And religion and a lot of things, our culture is playing into all of these things, so it doesn't help. And in Africa too, we don't have like safe spaces. If somebody is going through abuse, there's supposed to be a place where the person can be taken and kept at least for a period while the abuse situation is being investigated or being dealt with. But we don't have many of those things. So women prefer to just stay in their marriage and rather suffer their abuse. But if I ever saw signs of that in a friend of mine or in a colleague, I would advise them to leave their marriage. Thank you.
Do you believe in feminism?
Thank you for the question. No. I think this question is very dicey because I listen to both parts and I support some of their movements. I support some of their advocacies. Their advocacies are not wrong at all. But sometimes there are those who take it to the extreme. And that's what I don't believe in, because I believe that men and women are both unique people and we bring different things to the table. So I don't see why we should fight for something that a man is built to do when we also have something we can also do as well. So I'll say I'm 50-50 if that is the right answer. But with one side supporting the good things they're advocating for, gender equality and all of those things, not the extremes. So that would be my answer or my take on feminism.
My last question will be, what's your take on LGBTQ plus whatever?
Okay. For the kind of attention this particular topic is receiving internationally, I would prefer not to take a stance because there's a lot being investigated about it. There's a cohort that thinks that gender is a construct, a social construct. There's a cohort that thinks the LGBTQ movement is a psychological problem or disorder that has to be dealt with, where people have like gender dysphoria and all that. So I prefer not to talk about it for that reason.
But in recent developments, especially in the USA, you know, in their schools, they are inculcating this LGBT into the children. And some of the teachers believe that they can go ahead without involving the parents of the children. Do you agree, or you think parents should be involved in this LGBTQ plus thing going on in their children's schools?
I think parents, thank you for the question. I think parents should be involved because at the end of the day, everyone has something, values or morals they want to instill into their children. Pushing that agenda doesn't help because children are innocent. Pushing something like that on them is very confusing. And I don't think it's the right of the school to take that stance to push such an agenda on a child. The parents should decide. So if a parent decides that they want their child to learn that, that's fine. Sorry, they can do that on the side, some extracurricular activity. And if parents, so that it doesn't affect anybody, everybody's in the middle, it's balanced because, how do I even put it? Yes, please, that's my take.
My last one will be, do you believe in polygamy?
Please, I don't believe in polygamy. I do not believe in polygamy. Plus, it's also a crime in our country, so per the law, it's wrong. So I'm supporting the Constitution, it's the highest authority of Ghana. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so on the issue of Constitution, what are the constitutional duties of a gender commissioner?
So according to the Grasag Constitution, the gender commissioner is responsible for all gender-related issues and matters relating to the integration and participation of all Grasag students. The gender commissioner is also responsible for advocating for the cause and interest of female students. And she's also responsible for implementing and designing programs for the development and progress of graduate students. Thank you.
Yeah, you keep saying she. Why? A male can't be a gender commissioner?
According to the Grasag Constitution, they describe the head of the gender commission committee, or like that portfolio, the leader as a woman, as a she, and I think that's the bias. But as time goes on, and I understand clearly why that is there, because women are the minority right now, but when the stats increase, I'm sure there will be that balance where that clause will change. So currently, gender commissioner is a woman, according to the Constitution of Grasag KNUST.
How are women in the minority in Grasag?
So when you look at the various colleges and departments of KNUST, you realize that the number of female students in all those positions are very few, and there are actually statistics to prove it. So that's why we are the minority. And when it even comes to decision-making or leadership positions, you realize that most women don't go for such things. It's like we stay in our corner. So there's statistics to prove it.
The current Vice-Chancellor of KNUST is a woman.
So she's championing the cause, empowering women to also take that bold step to occupy such positions. So that's...
What are your policies for office?
Okay. So I have 3 policies. I'm going to do advocacy in policy making, where Grasag students will voice out their concerns, and then it would be presented to relevant stakeholders so that it can be integrated when they are making such decisions as it concerns them. And I'm also pushing for health awareness and then promotion. So that is like general physical well-being and then mental health as well. So it incorporates that. And then the third one is mentorship and training programs. So the mentorship and training programs would also, in a way, kind of curb the ratio of women to men in leadership positions, because women will get the chance to meet role models who will empower them, who will connect with them, and also lead them to or guide them to get into such positions.
How do you intend to implement your policies? Over the years, aspirants always give policies they do not implement when they get into a position. How do you intend to implement it? I need practical solutions, not the generic ones.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you for the question. So when I was drafting my policy, in order for it not to be redundant or something that wouldn't even be able to take place, I divided it into 3. So I stated the policy, I stated my objectives, what I wanted to achieve, and then I stated the action plan to get me there. So for the advocacy, for instance, something can be done, or a portal can be opened where graduate students can voice out their opinions concerning policies that have been implemented. So when they do that, then we will present it to relevant stakeholders at the top and then have a discussion. I'm sure we can move for that course. And then for the health and wellness awareness programs and campaigns, for that one is basically utilizing social media platforms to broadcast or promote health information. Even in that way, we will be able to revive Grasag's social media platforms, because currently it's not really active, so it would help. So this is a practical example. And also, because of my position as a pharmacist, I'm able to link up with other health professionals to create programs to check the health of graduate students.
Who is the current minister for gender and women? That ministry. Who is the current minister?
Honorable Lareba Zuwera Abudu. That's the current minister for gender.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Dr. Nanefua. Yeah.
Yes, please.
I was going through your CV, and I've seen that you've done so many activities. My question is, how were you able to combine these activities with your academics?
Okay, thank you very much. I had friends who would help me, so balancing my academics with all these works had to do with teamwork. When I come back from some of these things very late, I have friends who would help me. They'll stay up with me to learn, because if they sleep, I would also sleep. So they're just practical things I was doing. And if I miss anything in class, they would write notes in a way that I would understand. So when I come, I'll read it, and then I just go and write my exam. And my parents too. My parents are also very supportive, so that helped as well.
Yeah, that's a demonstration of hard work, practically. What's the current issues? I mean, in Ghana and, if possible, abroad. What's happening in Ghana right now as we speak?
Respectfully, I think I don't know what's happening currently.
Have you heard of the elections?
Yes, I've heard of the elections,
At
but
where?
I've heard of it, but I've not really followed
What
it. I wouldn't lie.
or something?
I've heard of that too. I've followed it to some extent.
Okay. That was just by the way. Now, my
Okay.
question is, how does the gender commissioner, engage with educational institutions to incorporate gender-sensitive curricula and promote gender equality among students?
Okay.
Did you get the question?
Can you kindly repeat it?
I'm saying, how does the gender commissioner engage with educational institutions
Okay.
to incorporate gender-sensitive curricula and promote gender equality among students?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. So gender sensitivity in its sense is like not using words that are biased when you're addressing people, or not doing things that is skewed. So like, for example, you're addressing someone and you say he, or when the position is not just for a male, or yes, it's for females as well. So what I can do in my position is to rally with other graduate students. So we move to our little brothers and sisters and we speak to them on such things.
What's the difference between gender and sex?
Gender
And sex.
Okay. So sex is the biological male and female, and gender is like a social construct in the sense that it's like gender is associated with the roles we play in the society. So the masculine, feminine gender. So it's like a social construct that has been put in place. So that's the difference. Not necessarily about your sex, but the role you occupy in society, like a construct.
Okay. Is LGBTQ plus, is it a right?
Is it
A right.
a right? No.
Is polygamy a crime?
Yes. In
So
Ghana.
how is the other? You said LGBTQ is a right.
It's not a right.
Are you in Ghana? Are you part of us? I mean, you are a gender advocate.
Yes, please.
And they are telling us that LGBTQ is a right, and you are telling me that's no.
Yes. I'm telling you no because our constitution does not permit it to be a right. So it's not a right currently. And they are still advocating for that, but it's not a right.
We are globally.
Globally, the world is divided. Some states, even in the United States, have accepted it as a right. Some states haven't accepted it as a right. So,
But do you think it will be fair to me or to any individual if polygamy is classified as a crime, but LGBTQ, that has its own repercussion and even tends to have a cost on the economy as a right? Do you think it's fair? When I am a man, I'm given the option to have as many partners as I have. Let's say 2 or even 3. And another person will also engage in LGBTQ, and there are no sanctions on the person, but the repercussion on the economy, whereby the government will have to increase its budget on drugs. And do you think? What's your take?
I don't think it's fair.
You think it's fair?
I don't think it's fair.
You don't think it's fair? I think you were a man in a woman's body.
Hey, no.
Fair your thinking?
No, I don't think it's fair.
You don't, yeah, I'm saying that then I think you are a man in a woman's body.
Because?
Because you're thinking like a man and you are acting like a woman.
Transgender.
But so are you saying it's a right in Ghana? Is that what you are saying?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that the laws of Ghana states that if I am a man and I marry, I marry her.
Yes, please.
Right.
Yes.
And I want to add up, it's a crime.
Yes.
But this man is a serious advocate of, let's say, LGBTQ. And it's whatever repercussion, he's okay with it. You get it? And I'm saying that, is this one a crime? As in me marrying with other options, and he's sticking to the LGBTQ thing. And you said that polygamy is a crime. This one too is not a right. And I'm saying that if you are thinking in that sense, then to me, you are projecting as a woman, but you are a man in terms of your thinking.
I don't agree. If you could expand on that phrase you are saying, that I'm a woman thinking like a man.
5 kg of gold and 5 kg of cotton. Which one is weightier?
They weigh the same. They are both 5 kg.
They weigh the same?
Yes, 5 kg of gold, 5 kg of cotton.
But do you think 5 kg of cotton can probably cover this entire room?
I don't know.
Huh?
Respectfully, I don't know, but they are both 5 kg.
They are both 5 kg,
Yes,
so
no,
they are okay.
none is weightier than the other.
Who's your role model?
My mom.
Who is she?
My mother.
Who is she?
Oh, Mrs. Vida Asante. Yes, please. She's my role model because she's able to balance a lot of things and then still teach us.
Are you friends with Yvonne Nelson?
No.
Do you
How
follow
can
her
I?
on any of her pages?
No, I don't.
You don't follow her on any
No.
of her pages?
And it's not because of the issue that is
But
going
you are
on.
friends with Sarkodie?
No,
follow,
no.
You follow Sarkodie?
No, I don't follow
You
Sarkodie
don't follow
either.
Sarkodie?
No.
So then who are you? Kofi Kinata?
Can't promise.
Huh? Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your stay here.
I did. We had such a wonderful conversation. Thank you. For
Okay.
making it a wonderful one.
Thank you. But she says it's fine. Or you want her number? Please, how are you? You may have your seat.
Thank you.
And would you want us to introduce ourselves again?
No, I think I got that when you introduced. Maybe I did that.
So what's her name?
Well, I can't really recall, but I believe.
What's her name?
I can't really recall.
What's his name?
Edmond Entry. I can't really recall.
So how come you recall some names and you are not able to recall the others?
Well, I'm very sorry about that, but it seems probably when she was speaking, I couldn't really. So I think I.
You were captivated by her beauty. Is that what you are trying to say?
Well, she's beautiful, but that's not the case.
My friend, you are going to take notice of our finances. And you can't be losing such sensitive information when it comes to. You get it?
Yes, I do get it.
Anyway, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I'll let the panel.
Please, in a few seconds, just introduce yourself.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Stephen Yawamo, and I'm very thrilled to be running for the position of Grasag K University. As a postgraduate student myself, I understand the challenges and aspirations of the postgraduate community, and I am passionate about contributing my quota to finding solutions to these problems. Academically, I hold an MPhil in microbiology at the Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology from K University, and I'm currently pursuing an MBA in strategic management and consulting. With this background, has provided me with the relevant analytical thinking, attention to detail, and financial literacy, which is very crucial for the treasurer, the role of the treasurer. Also, aside from my academic background, I also possess some professional experience, and that has helped me gain some practical experience into leadership and financial management. Currently, I'm the finance officer for JK Sam Company Limited, and all these has honed my abilities, my skills in financial planning and financial management, and also attributes such as transparency, honesty, integrity, which I believe would serve me well when I become the next treasurer. Finally, my philosophy in life is very simple, and it can be found in the good book. That's Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Do unto others what you want them to do unto you. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. As an aspiring financial secretary for this noble group, what new things do you bring on board that you consider to be innovative and would be ultimately beneficial to every member of Grasag? I have just one question for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been here for some time. This, like I introduced myself, this is my second master's program. And Grasag KNUST has no research fund. I've been here, it has been promised, but it has not been achieved. And I'm very passionate about research. So one thing that I would want to do, something innovative, is to allocate a portion, let's say 5% of our dues to research, dedicated to research. And of course, the money will not be enough for everybody, so there will be some form of proposal. People would have to, or students or members would have to put in their proposals, and depending on the novelty and the potential impact, a portion of their research will be funded. So that's one innovative thing that I want to bring on board. That's currently, as far as I'm concerned, to the best of my knowledge, does not exist. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen.
Yeah, hi.
Okay. All right. Can you please tell me what a check is?
A check, it's a financial document that essentially orders a bank or gives an order to a bank to pay a set amount of money to a specific individual or an entity or an organization.
Who is the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Ghana?
He is Mr. Ken Oforiatta.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you score him?
Well, so to start with, due to the current... Six.
Why?
So he did. I won't give the full mark because of the current financial difficulties that the country, has gone through for the past few months. So yes, that is. When he was given the, appointment, things were relatively okay until recently. So. Rating that on a scale, I think 6 would be a good score for him.
What's the current inflation rate?
No idea.
No idea?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us the meaning of IMF?
It's the International Monetary Fund.
And how many times has Ghana gone to IMF?
17. The recent one will be the 17th time.
How much are they giving us this last time that we went to IMF?
So I think the entire loan is $3 billion, but they've given the first tranche, that's $600 million.
Do you think... Okay, so who are the signatories to the Grasag KNUST account?
The president of the association, the treasurer, and the director of student affairs.
My last question will be, Do you think Mr. Ken Oforiatta has managed our finances really well?
Well, there are different school of thoughts with regards to this. Given the fact that, I mean, we are in an economic crisis, so I would say, well, I mean, it's difficult to rate because, I mean, when you look at certain indicators, you would say that, yes, he's done well in some aspects. In other aspects, too, he has not done so
Overall.
well. So overall, it's out, let's say 50%, around 50 to 55%.
Has he